This book shook the world. If there's one thing that all people can agree on, it's that the single most influential book with the biggest impact on the world has to be, without a doubt, the Quran. It's easy to take for granted the fact that this book shook the world and changed the course of human history. Spurring on human history's most intense burst of arts, philosophy, science, governance, economic prosperity even, the Quran has been admired and respected by Muslims and non-Muslims alike for over 1,000 years. But it's also been the subject of great jealousy and hatred from those whose corruption and illegitimate power it seeks to challenge from the start. Over the centuries, Shaitan has failed miserably in trying to get the Muslim Ummah to reject this book completely. And there was no recourse but to try and turn it into a religious scripture like other religious scriptures, essentially subjecting what was once an objective process of discovery of intended meaning to the personal whims and fancies of any reader, let alone producers of cultural norms. We want to revive not only the epistemic framework and methodology that the Quran itself came with, but also encourage the richness and the depth of the Quran to be dived into, extracting the pearls behind the intended meanings of every ayah, rather than simply using it to justify any norm or practice that seems to be in fashion.
The Quran was not just revealed to be recited or to be listened to or to be memorized, right? The purpose behind the revelation of the Quran was so that we could ponder over its verses and the meanings of its verses, and at a basic level, and this is something that everyone can do, pondering over the Quran is about reading a verse, understanding it, and then benchmarking yourself against the ideals that are expressed in that ayah, and understanding how close you are to the ideals of that verse and how distant you are from it, and what you can do to make that verse an intrinsic part of your life.
We at Islam 21C are therefore deeply honoured to host the published works of many distinguished authors, articles, series, videos, bringing the power of the Quran into the 21st century with a deep understanding of both.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always perfect His light. The question is, will you be part of the solution? Invest in Islam in the 21st century.